What's up, it's Marco, Sage of Soccer, and today I'll be talking about the US men's national team players who you could expect to see in England this year. We've got a lot of players from the Premier League to the Championship. I'm not going to talk too much about players in League 1 or League 2, but we got a couple players who I really want to talk about. Starting things off, we got Christian Pulisic, definitely the face of the US men's program right now, and he's on a pretty crucial year with Chelsea right now. We have to see where he's going to end up playing for them. They did end up losing Romelu Lukaku, which does open up a spot in the front three, but it also means he could be playing striker a bit more, which isn't ideal. They signed Raheem Sterling, which is another competition for a spot, but fortunately for Chelsea or for Pulisic, not Chelsea fans, they were unable to get Rafinha. So I could see Christian Pulisic playing. He's going to be playing a good amount this year. They're in so many competitions, but he really has a lot of work to do to stake a claim as a starter, get consistent starting playing time. It's going to be tough. I'm not sure if he's going to really cement a spot this year, but hey, he's got every chance in the world to do it. He will get opportunities. I'm hoping he can, but it's going to be rough. Next, I did talk about Leeds and Crystal Palace already, but Chris Richards at Crystal Palace, just quick going over him. I don't think he's going to be a locked-in starter. There's a very good backline in Mark Gahey, Joachim Anderson. It's going to be tough to break through those center backs, but he does have an option to play out wide on the right. The right back situation at Crystal Palace isn't ideal. Nathaniel Klein is only getting older. Same with Joel Ward. Ferguson looks like he's probably not escaping his injury crisis anytime soon, but it could happen. I'm optimistic as a Palace fan, but realistically, right back's going to be pretty wide open, so there's a chance Richards will play there. He didn't look bad when he was playing there for Bayern, but he is a center back naturally, and he could easily break into that team. I mean, Mark Gahey and Joachim Anderson, they have been very good, but they're not world-class by any means, so there was a possibility to break through, but I don't think they're going to be playing a back three, and I think right back is a place where he could get a lot of playing time, but I think he will get some opportunities at center back. Leeds with Tyler Adams, Brenden Aaronson. I think expecting Adams to play pretty much week in, week out. Marsh did a big fan of him. They did get rid of Calvin Phillips, and it's going to be very tough to walk into that role. Just make sure you're doing your own thing. Don't try to be Calvin Phillips. But I think he's going to start, and I feel like he'll be doing pretty well. I see a lot of concerns about Adams, but, listen, his technical ability, it's not perfect for a world-class team. He'll be fine at Leeds. He's above someone like a Harrison Reed who's done pretty well in the Premier League. I'm not worried about Tyler Adams. Brenden Aaronson, he does fit the system really well. Another guy who March knows. But, I don't know. They've got a lot of good attacking players. I'm expecting him to get some playing time. Probably be a starter by the end of the year, but it's going to be tough to unseat. I don't even know what formation they're going to be sticking with once the year starts. It's just tough to really gauge where he's going to be playing. He's definitely going to get some time. It might be starting, it might be off the bench, but I'm expecting Brenden Aaronson to do pretty well. Then at Arsenal, we got Matt Turner, who's going to be the backup goalkeeper behind Ramsdale. Should get plenty of time with the Europa League and Cup games. I'm expecting him to play in those competitions, but he's not going to be playing much in the Premier League this year. I guess he does have a chance to break through. Ramsdale does have some mistakes in him, so maybe he could eventually become a starter, but I don't really see that happening. But with how many games Arsenal playing in the Europa League, and they have been willing to play their backup goalkeepers in that before, I'm expecting Matt Turner to get a lot of game time. Then we got Fulham with Jedi Robinson and Tim Ream. Jedi should be the starter. They haven't signed a right or left back yet. I don't think they will before the start of the season, and I think he did pretty well in the Premier League last year. I think no matter how well Fulham does this year, they're Fulham. There's a very good chance they go right back down. But I think that Jedi will have to do good enough that he stays in the Premier League individually. And whether that's keeping Fulham up or maybe just impressing enough that another team picks him up. I think he's going to have to do that this year. I don't think going back to the championship will do him well. So hopefully Jedi will be able to stay up. Tim Ream's kind of like the Dwight Gale of center backs. He's really good in the championship, but Premier League level, not really. And that's not a bad thing. I'm a huge fan of Dwight Gale. But, yeah, he might get a couple games early on. Hopefully they'll play him in some cup games, because I feel like he's really liked around the club. But, yeah, he's not going to be a Premier League player. And then we also got a couple players who are dual internationals who haven't committed yet. Balogun at Arsenal and Alex Mighten at Nottingham Forest. Keep an eye on them, but I'm not going to talk too much about them since they're not committed yet. Then going down to the championship, we had a good amount of players there. A couple of really good players I'm hoping can break into the team. Zack Steffen will be starting at Middlesbrough as the goalkeeper. Hopefully he'll be able to get... I think he's going to be starting, and I think he's going to be playing well. Hopefully he gets enough games under him, gets all the rust out, and hopefully by September he can come and do really well. Because Matt Turner, I think he's our starter right now because he has been the best for a while, but I do want Zack Steffen to be the starter for us. I really like his ability with his feet, which I know people kind of discount it, but if we're playing with a good back line who's really technical, that is important. And I'd like to, and it's not like amazing or anything, but I think Zack Steffen would do pretty well for us. So I want him to get going again. And people forget how good of a goalkeeper is when he isn't on form. So I want to see Zack Steffen back in the team. And then Ethan Horvath is another guy who has a chance. He's going on loan to Luton Town, and he's going to finally be a starter for the first time in, 5 years? I think it's shorter than that, but he has not been a starter for a very long time. He has looked good in moments, but I'm really looking forward to see how he can do. Luton's going to be a fun team to watch. They had a pretty good year last season. Maybe they can push for promotion. They're going to be a fun team to watch. Same with Middlesbrough as well. Then I should mention Middlesbrough are interested in Matthew Hoppe, which I think he should just stick it out at Mallorca. It's going to be tough to get back to a La Liga club, but I don't know how he's doing with the language situation. Like, if he's struggling learning Spanish, going to an English-speaking country would probably be good for him. I think he could play a good amount for Middlesbrough. I'm a fan of the guy, but, Duncan Wadmore has looked really good for them, and I think Matthew Hoppe can at least compete with him. So I'm really hoping that he can... That would be a good move for him, but I think he should stick it out in Mallorca, personally. Then at Norwich, we got a couple players to talk about. Josh Sargent, hopefully he has a strong season with Norwich this year. He's looked very good when given opportunities in the second tier. It's been a very limited sample size like Ethan Horvath, but he has looked really good. I'm hoping he can recover his goal-scoring form because I think he should be in the national team. He's a very good player, and if he's the guy to hit form, I mean, I say this when we talk about our strikers all the time. Form is temporary, class is permanent. All of our striker conversations revolve around form, so just get in form, Josh, and you're going to be back in the team. Then they also have Tomkinson, who's a backup center back there. He can potentially get some game time this year. He's been on the bench for a bit. Don't think he's going to break in as a starting team. Norwich, they're going to get promoted again this year. It's Norwich. Them and Fulham never play in the same division. So I think that it's going to be tough when they are pushing to get wins all the time, but he's something to keep an eye on. Definitely in cup games, he should get a look in. Then we got Daryl Dike at West Brom, another guy trying to break into the World Cup squad. Just a beast of a striker. Hoping he can get a lot of goals, get a lot of playing time, because he's really fun to watch. So hopefully he can do well, get back to the team. He should be playing a lot for West Brom. Even though they lost the manager that signed him, I think they're a fan of him there. Then, interestingly enough, we got Auston Trusty to talk about. He's going into Europe. The very under-the-radar signing, he signed for Arsenal. And I actually do like him as a player a lot. I was a big fan of him when he was on the Union. He's a good left-footed center back. He's a good athlete, talented on the ball. He does have to put it all together defensively, though, and I think the Championship is a very good place to do that. Playing at Birmingham, playing a physical game every week, I think it's going to be fun to watch. And Auston Trusty, he's somebody to keep an eye on. I don't think he's not going to bring to the World Cup team this year. Probably not. We do need that left-footed center back. But he's somebody to keep an eye on moving forward. I'm a pretty big fan of him. Philadelphia Union bias, it is what it is. But I think he's someone we should keep an eye on. I think he can be good. Then a couple other players. Vaughn Covil has impressed for Hull City in the preseason. So he was on the bench today, but probably won't be playing too much, but definitely someone to keep an eye on. Another guy who's eligible for the U20 tournament. Could be fun to watch him. And then some players who are in the championship, but I think their time to get into the national team has passed. Dwayne Holmes at Huddersfield. He's looked pretty good for a while. Honestly, he probably should have been given a chance, but our center mid situation is really good at the moment, so I can't see him breaking through. Lyndon Gooch, was excited about him for a while, but I don't think it's going to happen for him. He's at Sunderland right now. And Matthew Olasunde, a guy, I like him, but it's not going to happen. Oh, right back is a weak spot for us, but he has to play before he gets back in the team. And then down the league, Charlie Kilman, he's a striker I like. He's on loan at Leyton Orient in League 2 this year. You're probably not going to be able to watch him, but keep an eye on his stats, I guess. Maybe you get back to QPR. I still have faith in him, but it's taken a while for him to get going. Then some young keepers. Alex Porto is in Fulham's academy. I think he's their go-to guy for their U23s. He might even be their third choice overall. I think they're not in the Papa John's Trophy this year, which is disappointing because I thought it'd be fun to watch him in that, but doesn't look like it. Chitaro Ndunze should be, though, so maybe you'd see Leicester's U23s. Could be fun to watch him. He has a good amount of potential. He's done some pretty good things with his feet before. He's 6'8". Could be fun to watch. And that's all we have to talk about for players in England. It's going to be fun to watch Pulisic, Richards, Adams, Aaronson, get Jedi back in there. Going to be some really fun players to watch, and going to be good to talk about the Premier League. I'm going to be doing a prediction video, and, well, for me, a couple of minutes because I got to pre-record a couple, but for you, a couple days. But, it's going to be fun to watch this year, and, that's all I'll talk about right now. See ya.